Pardon?
All right, welcome into the Indy 11 post-game show presented by Indiana Central Area Honda Dealers. Ian Gilmore up in the press box with John Kluter, and Kyle Jr. should be joining us from pitch side very soon. They're with Max Rogers. Can you guys hear me down there?
Kyle, can you hear us down on the field?
Okay, yes, we can. Let's get on Max while we can.
It's like I think they're unmuted now.
Can you guys hear us?
Keep buffering.
Coach Rogers, can you hear us?
Yep, can hear you.
Live TV, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing it live after a 2-1 Indy 11 victory here at Carroll Stadium. We wait interim head coach Max Rogers to join us here on the postgame show.
Do you have us now, gents? Do you have us now?
We'll filibuster here a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun to watch them in person down on the field, and then see it try to work out on the broadcast.
Well, in the meantime, let's prompt the crowd to send in your comments here via StreamYard. If you get them in soon enough, we'll make sure to ask interim head coach Max Rogers, as well as, I believe, Nikki Law is making come over to the headset as well. So fire your questions for those fine Englishmen into the chat.
How about now, John?
And we'll try to get those live to the gentleman. After a big 2-1 win here at the mic, we didn't want to make you wait that long, but for those of you who've been following the exploits of the team all season, it's worth the wait is hard to say, but it's certainly nice to see the squad on the other side of the result. I know. A big energy, no pun intended, seriously, but big energy result out of the guys tonight. Kind of exercised some demons, both with the home mark and the transition of holding the result after going up a goal in the first half. Did give one back about 10 minutes after the opener, but in the second half we were able to close it out effectively following Manuel Arteaga's eventual game winner, that coming in the 53rd minute off of just a gorgeous service from the right wing by Nikki Law. As we continue to wait, he looks good. I mean, Coach Rogers looking good, looking happy.
We're not buffering anymore. We can see him, and maybe they can hear us by now. And we'll get touch on it, John. It was a long time coming to be on this side of the results, and I know this. We joke inside off this class of interns, and a home win every time on that last day. So it was very nice to finally see that at home. It was very atmosphere and light, and very few better places to watch a USL game, and the fans were rewarded for waiting as long as they have tonight.
Indeed, and a gritty result, I'll say.
Test
Offense
1, 2.
was
Gentlemen, do you hear us?
It may not show in the
You got us?
the final
You have
stats, but
Can you hear him, John? I can hear Josh.
Can you hear us?
Josh, can you hear me? I can hear you down the field. Yes.
All right, I'm going to hand you over to Max.
Okay, perfect. Can you hear him too, John? As well. Head coach Max Rogers on the headset now. Max, congrats on the win. First off, can you kind of just analyze what you saw out there and how'd you come out with a positive result tonight?
Yeah, as I said before the game, the important thing was the reaction, playing at home for the fans. So that was good, obviously, to go a goal up, and not great to concede in the first half, but at half time, the boys remained kind of focused, spoke about a few things, and started the second half in a great fashion, obviously, with the second goal. So yeah, obviously pleased with it, but it's just one little step, and we've got some big games coming up, obviously midweek and next Sunday, so we have to switch our focus to that now.
Yeah. It was a long time coming here to grab a home win at the mic. Can you kind of sum up the feeling after the game on the field and just going over and saluting the home fans and what was running through your mind?
I think, well, for me, it's relief more than anything. And I'm obviously delighted for the lads because they worked so hard in that game and saw it out, which is brilliant, and it's credit to them. And they get, they deserve all the praise and the credit for how they played in that game and responded in training midweek. So, and it's obviously great for them to connect with the fans again. And I said that to them, go and milk it in a sense, because the fans and us and the fans maybe not had that connection because of how things were going. And sometimes when you don't get the right result, you feel a bit stupid going over to thank the fans for the support. But as I said to the lads to just go and enjoy it, and hopefully that can build the sort of momentum and spirit again, and for the next home game, and well, obviously for the next game.
We've seen recently grabbing leads and then giving them up. And it happened in the first half, but to give it up and then get one forward, getting ahead in the second half, and then hold on to that. What went into that? What kind of resilience is that from the team?
It's just concentration from the players and them working together and being switched on in every moment. And to be honest, in other home games, the margins are small. We deserve to win more games at home. Certainly, since I've been here, and as I said, it's those small margins. So the concentration and the communication throughout the team's massive, and that helps as much as sort of tactics and whatnot. So,
John?
We're going to throw one in from the fans to close out. Steve Spikerman's asked, did Farr's return make the difference in the match? Obviously, it's always good to have your first choice keeper back in the lineup, back from injury. Talk about what Jordan added to the squad tonight in his return.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Bobby and Eric, obviously, when they played, they've done really good jobs. So it's not, not taking anything away from what Jordan contributes to the team, but Bobby and Eric both have done really well for us. So, I can't say that we won because Jordan came back into the team. That's not fair on anyone else. It's a team game, and it's the lads that start and the lads that come off the bench, and also the lads that didn't come into the game, but they contribute in terms of their performance and training to make sure everyone's ready. So it's a team thing, and it's not one individual is more important than the other.
Great. Well, thank you, Coach. Again, congrats on the win, and from me personally, good luck the rest of the way this season.
Thanks, Ian.
Head coach Max Rogers wrapping it up, and my fellow comms intern Kyle steps back in front of the mic. And for those who don't know me, because I've never been on this, I'm the other comms intern this summer. Do a lot of video stuff. So we have Nikki Laws coming up.
We have Nikki Law.
So there we go. Roll right into that. There's Indy 11 UK named Nikki Law his man of the match. Nikki, Ian Gilmore in the press box. Can you hear me?
Yes. You okay?
Perfect. Yes, great. Congrats on the win. You find yourself trotting into the box in that first half. Kind of describe what that was like. Walk us through that goal.
Yeah, unusual of late. Obviously, I think I've been playing a little bit deeper of late, so not being as close to the goal as that today. So, no, slightly unusual, but no, when the keeper comes at me so fast and rushing and low like that, then it kind of makes my mind up pretty early that if I could lift the ball, get a bit of height on it, then I'd have a good chance of finishing it off. So fortunately enough for me and the team, that was the case. So no, I was delighted to get back on the score sheet today, and hopefully I can get a few more in the weeks to come.
Yeah, it was a great finish. There's been a lot of close games this season at home, but you just weren't able to pull out, 3 points from them. Finally get it tonight. What was the difference?
Probably putting the chances away, really. I think we maybe didn't have as many chances tonight as we have in previous home games. I look at the 2 Birmingham games, probably Memphis as well, where we had some really good chances, didn't put them away. Whereas, as I say, tonight, maybe not as many chances, but the 2 we got we put away. So that's huge in football. We know that you have to take your chances when you're on top. Unfortunately, we did that tonight. It was a tough game, as you say, tight game. I think all of the games at home, as you say, have been like that, and I think they'll be like that towards the end of the season. So those little defining moments where we get our chances, we need to take them, and hopefully we'll turn those draws and tight defeats that we've had here into victories.
Yeah. Your fellow teammate that was on the score sheet tonight, Manu, just can you talk about the shift he put in tonight? It seemed like he never stopped running.
Yeah, no, he never does. Obviously, he's like that every game. It's just the way he plays. It's his style of play, non-stop action. He fights for every ball, every header. He never gives he must be a nightmare to play against as a defender. He doesn't give you a moment's peace. So, no, he's hugely appreciated in the changing room for his effort and his desire every week, and we love Manny for that. So I was delighted that he got his goal tonight, as you say, as a reward for his hard work. So again, hopefully that'll give him a little change in luck, and hopefully he can go on a run of scoring some goals as well and keep pushing us up the table now.
There was a lot more smiles on the field post game in the stands in the BYB. What was that like, just going over and being able to interact with them like that after a win?
Yeah, really good. Obviously they deserve that. They've not had a victory here since very early on in the season, so it was huge to give them something to cheer about at long last. Obviously hugely disappointing in the week away to Atlanta, a performance where we really let ourselves down, and we wanted to come out here tonight and show fight and desire for them, and obviously for ourselves as well. So no, it was great that we could give them the victory tonight. Hopefully, as I say, we can give them a lot more victories, a lot more things to shout about and things like that, because they keep showing up in their numbers and giving us great support. So we thank them hugely for that. And, yeah, we want to reward them with a lot more victories and obviously a higher position in the table.
John?
No questions, but one comment from our friend at Indy 11 UK across the pond. It says Nicky Law, man of the match. Sure made a hell of an argument for that. We'll see what the Grand Park Man of the Match poll says tomorrow into Monday, but you got one vote at least.
Yeah, that's not a family member of mine, is it?
We'll check the tabulation come Monday.
No,
Thanks, Nicky.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nicky. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
And continuing on, Ian, as we bring in Kyle as well, here's one comment from Indy Josh M. From Periscope. It says, very important win and assertive play. Way to go. And talk a little about the assertiveness you guys saw across the field tonight. So I think Indy Josh M made a good point. I think it did stand out.
Yeah. All of my, I watch a lot of the games through a camera lens, so take that as you will. But I felt like they pressed a lot more than usual tonight. I think especially wingbacks were not giving their marks any time to turn on the ball. And I think Jeremiah Guyar and Barca Sissoko through the midfield did really well with that too. And so I think that's probably what he's talking about. And it was, instead of, they get their chances and then they sit back and wait for the next one. I think we've seen that a little bit at home. It was they get a chance and they keep getting chances, and they kind of have a spell of 3 to 4 to 5 minutes where they are really looking like they're going to score. So that's what I saw in that sense. Kyle, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, besides assertive play, I think assertive and a different P word, assertive passing. The passing was absolutely there tonight. The ball was put into fantastic places. None more than that Manuel Arteaga assist. That was just beautifully weighted. And even though it was weighted and had some finesse on it, you have to have a certain level assertion to get into that spot and then play a ball that gutsy and that well into the box to set up a teammate like that. So overall, just the way they passed and everything like that to create build-up and movement, I think that was one of the most assertive parts of their game, and I think that's what helped propel them to this victory.
Surface level comments, at least. I think Manuel Arteaga put in such a shift tonight. It really didn't seem like he ever stopped running, and I was really pleased for him to see him get rewarded with that goal. And I think the passing from the wingbacks and the front, 2 or 3, whatever you want to call it, their intricate passing tonight was very, very good. I thought Ayoze was brilliant off the left-hand side, coming and cutting in quite a bit. And I think that made a difference tonight. I don't think we saw that as much the last time OKC came. But that was one thing that I was really impressed with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just going off the passing again, something we've seen as kind of an evolution of this iteration of this Indy 11 squad is they've kind of moved from primarily looking for crossing the ball into the box. Obviously, Manuel Arteaga had that header off of a cross, but they're also looking to provide over the top. We've seen several over the top through balls. We saw some in Tulsa. We even saw a couple in Atlanta, and we saw some tonight. And those are when Indy is arguably looking the most dangerous, and they're not just crossing it in from the sides anymore and maybe not, quite finding a target. Instead, they're going straight at it, and they're going straight through the middle at times, and it's really keeping, I think, defenses a lot more on their toes than it was earlier in the season. So I think that is a huge factor to their success.
Yeah, and I think that was wearing out defenders too, even when it wasn't working. When you have defenders sprinting back and looking at clear balls, that takes a toll on their fitness too, and who knows what that did to them near the end of the game. Sorry, John, I thought you were about to say something.
Norris, no, I agree. I think the passing was crisper tonight. I think the spacing, and I think that's because of the spacing. It was a little wider. I think guys weren't as much up in each other's space as much, and I think that allowed them to stretch OKC a little wider from sideline to sideline to open up the middle of the field a little more. And I thought that was, again, I think that's a sign of a team figuring out how to play together. And I probably will keep stressing this for every game throughout the course of the season. But I think tonight you saw a lineup that had a little more awareness of where each other were at and where they needed to be to hold the ball, wait, and pass with purpose when they were ready to distribute the ball. And I also thought we ran the Harlem Globetrotters weave out there for about 9 seconds at one point in the first half. The ability to keep possession like that, even if it didn't come to anything, I don't think it results in any shots per se, but just hold that ball, get it pinging around, have fun on the ball a little bit, which is while the team holds possession, I don't think you see that much joy on the ball as the team had like they did tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's really important for near the end of the game too. And I don't necessarily think they might have had a majority of the possession in the last 10 minutes, but they kept the ball as much as they needed to, and they really didn't even need to go down and keep it in the corner because they were getting fouls 30 yards out or just keeping the ball along the back line. One other performance, at least in the second half, I was impressed with was Jordan Farr making his return. The goal, I think it's pretty fair to say it was his fault, just coming out, bad positioning, and then going for a ball. Albeit, I think, was it Bautista that scored? He has to be like 6'7", so it's going to be hard to out-jump him for a ball in the corner. But, yeah. But the save that Jordan made one-on-one in the second half, he made up for that completely because that was a sure goal. And beyond that, it didn't really look like OKC was going to score in that second half. So I was really impressed with the defensive effort, especially because this team at home recently has given up leads quite a bit. And so holding on for 40-odd minutes in the second half, I think was really impressive.
Yeah, and I think one of the most impressive things about that Farr save is looking throughout Indy season, there's been a lack of moments for them that have kind of shifted momentum back in their favor whenever it seems like another team is attacking or another team's defense is really stout. There seems like there's been a lack of those moments where, there's something big that happens, it goes Indy's way, and it's fueled to continue throughout the game. And that Jordan Farr save, provided the momentum for Indy, I think, to get over this line and to say, these are our 3 points. We're going to get them here, and we're going to keep them.
I'll point out another big play early in the first half was 50th minute. I think it was Chavez was able to turn, get a touch, and it was basically straight out from goal, about 8 yards out. Was seemingly only far to beat, but Cochran, AJ Cochran, comes in, swoops in, but with a huge toe poke tackle away to stop the chance. That is one of those momentum plays that did go Indy 11's way. 3 minutes later, you're down on the other end of Manuel Arteaga's crashing the 6-yard box, crashing field boards, crashing anything that's in his way to get on the head of Nicky Cross. And there you go. Instead of 2-1 down, you're 2-1 up. And I think the rest of the second half played out that way. Like you said, Ian, with just one big save. When Jordan Farr had to make it, he did. He was assertive on and off his line after that. And again, it's nice to see the momentum, the bounces, the key plays here and there go Indy's way at home finally, which could hopefully start to build a little momentum here because checks notes. There's 4 straight home Saturdays coming up starting August 28th. So it's going to be a pivotal stretch to gain momentum as the Central Division shrinks, and the middle of that Central Division shrinks, compacts. Maybe a good home run during that spell lets you take the hold of that third place mantle and space that out a bit.
Yeah. Speaking of when Arteaga crashed into the boards, that being like right next to it as I was, he took down I think like the 5 or 6 boards around it too. It was crazy, and I can't believe he kept playing on after that. But just seeing that celebration and all the subs and everything just coming and celebrating with him together, and then it's right next to the BYB. That was just great to see. It's something, a winning goal I've been waiting to see all summer. So that was really nice to see.
Yeah, no question. It was definitely nice to see. And I think the USL Championship, they tweeted about the goal and they said, "Who's ready to run through a wall for this goal?" And it was completely aptly named because I think quite a few in the BYB would run through a wall, an entire building, a steamship, whatever you'd put in front of them after that goal. So it was definitely fantastic to see. Definitely fantastic to see the BYB lose their absolute minds. As I think Max Rogers very well put it, it's incredibly well-deserved based on their support.
Yeah, they were fantastic tonight. There wasn't as many maybe as usual, but they were fantastic once again. And there hasn't been a game where they haven't been full voice behind the team. I want to go back. One of the points you made, John, about the defensive stops, the ones that AJ made especially. It seems that at least recently in home games, there was just little mistakes along the back line where, they're just, a yard away from blocking something. And that just wasn't the case tonight. It was the opposite. They were, they made the block or they made the tackle that was important. And it made the difference tonight. It really did. And so I think that's maybe what was missing in recent games at home.
Yeah. And I think something that was really big that's kind of been left out of this is Jared Timmer obviously going down in the last game with an injury. Who's going to step into that center back role? Who's going to step up? Timmer had kind of started to cement himself as that center back. And obviously when he goes down, it's a big blow for the team. We saw the likes of Carl Lumet and AJ Cochran just play an absolutely fantastic game in center back, flanked by Neville Hackshaw and Reese Buckmaster. And honestly, I think that might be the most impressive match I've seen from our back four so far since kind of moving to more of a back four under Coach Max Rogers. Does anyone want to talk kind of about what else they saw with the back four between those four that we really, really like to see?
I think – go ahead, John.
Hackshaw's passing out of the back to break line continues to be an impressive tool in his arsenal. He didn't have a lot of them, but a couple chances. One especially early in the half, I think caught Arteaga or the Wild on a break and in behind the defense. I think it's going to be interesting to see how maybe that center tandem of Ouimet and Cochran can gel. Obviously, they have a lot of time playing together, but a lot in a 3-back. So in a 4-back with those two as the center pillars, it'll be interesting to see once Timmer is healthy if he slots back into one of those central roles. If it goes back to a 3 with him centrally and wide, there's options to be had. But with two veterans like Cochran and it's certainly an alignment I'm comfortable with, and I think will only get better with time. And I think that right side spot is kind of the wild card. If we're going to play a 4-back, you got Hatshaw on the left, you got whether it's Ouimet and Cochran, or Cochran and Timmer, or Timmer and Ouimet. There's options. That also leaves you free if you're going to play those two veterans back there to put a Timmer on the right. I think Reese Buckmaster did a fantastic job tonight. I think he stood his ground and locked down plenty of plays on that side, on his right side of the defensive field. That helped the back line stand firm. He also is not afraid to get up the field and provide another option in that possession passing game. So there's tons of options to plug in on that back line, but it's going to get really interesting once Timmer's back to health, which last Sunday's injury looked, I think, maybe a little worse than it first appeared, thankfully. I don't think there's a set timeline for him, but we do expect him to not miss that much time, certainly not the way we thought coming out of Sunday night. So a lot of positive, but again, I think the depth of this squad, weeks like this, where you're going Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, we're going to see some different back lines. We may see 3 different back lines throughout this week. So it's good to have options. It's good to have guys who can keep each other fresh and rotate out and not lose a lot talent-wise. Now, cohesion-wise, it's where it gets tricky, and that's where Max Rogers has to make his money on the sideline to make sure that those combinations are coherent and in tune with each other.
And I think going back to your first point about Hackshaw and his passing, even though he didn't, grab an assist tonight like he did, I think it was the Atlanta game to Peter Levasseur, it's still something you're always thinking about. And so I think that's really important. Reese Buckmaster has lungs that are like iron. He got up and down that wing tonight so well and so often. A couple slip-ups, I think, defensively, but you're going to have them in a game. And then, Ouimet and Cochran were so good together. And if the problem is who do you play along the back line, what combination is the best, I think that's a really good problem to have. So I think they'll be satisfied with what they had tonight, but definitely looking to keep building on them.
Yeah, Ian, like you said, what a problem to have. And I know Coach was kind of asked about the goalkeeper situation as well, and we see the same issue there. So when you have a defense that's playing well enough to where you have a problem of everyone's so good, who are we going to play? It's not much of a problem as in a solution for, I think, weeks like John mentioned coming up, where we play tonight, we play Wednesday, and then we play Sunday again. So if we have that depth, we have that rotation, that's something that can help start bringing a team onto the right track.
And one thing I think we forgot too is Nick Moon wasn't anywhere tonight. He was wearing street clothes, and that's one of the better players this season. And they played well enough that we forgot even about him. So that's a positive. One of the comments from Soccer with Brian says this result feels different than any other result this season. Great full 90-2 performance. May we continue to see these the rest of the season. I'll be totally honest. The first 20 minutes, I don't think were that great. I was right next to Trey, and we turned to each other and like, has it only been 20 minutes so far? Because just not much had happened, but clearly they turned a switch and made something different happen than usually at home. If the first 20 minutes are that, it's not 3 points at the end of the night. And today it was. So I think it's really impressive that even if you're going to start that way, you fix things in the next 70 minutes. And I think the next step is get rid of that start and start as you would at the 20th or 25th minute, whenever they started to pick things off. And I think that's the next step from here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think I would say the first 10 minutes, Indy did have a couple of chances, but the second 10 minutes, I would absolutely agree with you. 10 through 20, it was a little slow. It was definitely, how's this game going to happen? The teams were still feeling each other out. But after that, like you said, Ian, I mean, there was a switch that was flipped. And that is, I think, the best performance we've seen from an Indy 11 squad so far this year. And I can agree with this win feeling a little different. We had obviously the win in Sporting Kansas City after Max Rogers assumed the interim head coach spot, and that felt good. And then we had Tulsa a couple weeks ago, and it kind of got us out of the slump in July, and that felt good. But this feels kind of like, okay, Are we here? Is this finally, are we finding ways to distribute the ball? Are we having a fantastic problem in defense? Are we going to, take our shots, even if we don't have as many as maybe we would have liked? Are we going to take them, or are we going to put them in the back of the net? And everything just started to seem like it was going to fire on the right cylinder.
I'm going to let you two finish this out, but not without hitting one comment here that encapsulates a good end of the semester. A. Janer in Periscope. Way to go, Kyle. You did a great job for the 11. I want to echo that for both of you. Ian has been behind a lot of your favorite videos, including the mic'd ups this summer that our fans have been gaga over. Ian's done a ton of other video work for us.
It's my only claim to fame is mic'd up.
It's been fantastic. Kyle has been killing it on the previews and live Twitter and recaps for us, as well as some other writing items, some yet to still come your way. So I just want to, first of all, before Ian takes us home and guides us out, I want to thank you both for the work you've done for us this summer. And I'm so glad we could give you a going away present with a win tonight. You guys earned it and deserved it. I'm glad that the guys on the field were able to come through for you.
We got one. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. Kyle, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I think, I'm just going back to what Soccer with Brian said. I mean, this win feels different. It feels like maybe finally we've turned a leaf. And 2 out of 3 in August, not too shabby. I know we had one we're going to like to forget in there. But that's in the past now. The current is 2-1, Indy victory, and then the future is what's happening this week. Next game, Loudoun United on Wednesday. They're a team that's kind of in the bottom of their division. It's a great chance for Indy to go on the road and grab 3 points and continue this momentum. And, I may not be an intern anymore after today, but I will definitely be watching and definitely be supporting and rooting for Indy the whole way.
And I can second that. Maybe from a little farther away. I'm back to Michigan tomorrow, but I'll be tuning in via ESPN Plus, shameless plug. But yeah, a great win tonight. It really did feel different. They put a full performance together for the first time that I had seen in person at home. And I do think that this can be a turning point and where they can take what they have learned from tonight, improve anything that they didn't like, and take that forward into the second half of the season. And like Kyle, I'll be cheering on from a little farther away. But I've really enjoyed my time this summer, and just thank you to everyone that has taught me what Indy is and what the community is, and about the team and everything. It's been an honor to cover it and to try to make it feel special through a video medium. And I hope everyone has enjoyed and that I could make a couple people smile. So. That's all for me, Jonathan. Do I wrap up? Do you wrap up? This is first time, so I have to plug Central Indiana area Honda dealers. Gotta get that in there, right? I'm learning, but I appreciate everyone tuning in, and good luck to the fans the rest of the season. Good luck to the players, the coaches, and everyone involved with Indy 11 the rest of the season. And we finished from Michael A. Carroll Stadium with a 2-1 Indy 11 win over OKC Energy. And we hope to see you next time we're back at the mic, which is August 28th against
Real Monarchs.
Thank you, Kyle. So we'll see you August 28th. Thanks for tuning in, and good night.